Good evening everybody, my name is Terry Ryan. Welcome to my channel. I dedicate this channel to the things we go through of annoyance and little trials and tribulations we may go through. I started doing this video in reference to my book, I Survive by Terry Ryan. If you'd like to buy a copy of this book, you can get one on my website, which is terry-ryan.com. There's a selling tool there. You can purchase a copy there. If you're in Australia, I can post it to you for an extra $3.40. Might make a good Christmas gift. So please pop onto there. You could also message me through my Facebook page, which is Terry Ryan Author, to purchase a copy. But recently I have been going through the book with the things that I learnt from going through the experience, not just going through the domestic violence that I suffered, but also things through my life. And I have been going topic by topic. But tonight I wanted to touch on the topic of stress and depression, mainly due to the fact that we are coming up to Christmas and so many more people do get depressed and suffer a lot of stress and anxiety through the Christmas period. And I myself used to really suffer badly with depression. Every time December would come around, I would kind of get seasonal depression. I'm not exactly sure at the time what it was caused from. I couldn't actually pinpoint too many things going on. There were times it was due to money, when my children were all young and I didn't have a lot of money coming in, so I did have stresses over that, making sure that they had enough for their Christmas presents and to have a nice Christmas for them all. So I guess some of the Christmases may have been for that reason that I was a bit stressed. Well, forgive me, this is my dog Sadie. But there were years when, I got a better job, I had more finances, and there were times I couldn't really pinpoint what the depression was. And anyway, one thing I did find out in later years was that there was a lot of influence. There was influence by others around me, and I really believe I was picking up on a lot of people's anxiety and stress, and just being in the season, and how a lot of the population were going through this high anxiety and stress. And funny thing is, we are electricity, and it's quite easy. I mean, I'm sure some of you may have walked into a room and you've felt the atmosphere in the room. There may have been a big argument or something there, and you've walked in after the event and you've been able to pick up the anxiety and the pressure and the vibe in the room. Well, it's a similar thing also, with a lot of people suffering at Christmas time, and that I really believe I was able to pick up a lot of the pressure and the anxiety and stress and depression and that the people were suffering. And this being is because we are electrical. Our bodies are made up of electricity, and we are quite like a human battery. We have times when we're fully charged up and times when we're run down on our charge. And the times when we are low on our charge are usually the times when we're sick, or we're tired, or we're suffering in some form or way. And a lot of this with depression, it's been proven scientifically that stress, if you don't deal with your stress when you first have it, it will bubble up and become anxiety. And then if you don't deal with your anxiety, it can bubble right over and turn into depression. And this is usually deep-rooted problems that you haven't faced or you haven't dealt with. And I remember there was a time I would drive home from work. I used to suffer an immense amount of depression, and even to the point where I wanted to kill myself. and yet I couldn't really pinpoint why. It was only in later years I realised it was all that pent-up drama that I had going through the domestic violence and not dealing with the issues and dealing with my emotions of those things that caused the stress and the upset and everything. So therefore I'd had it buried there, and I just couldn't figure out how to put my finger on it. So I did have to go to the doctor and get antidepressants. Sometimes you do need a little bit of help with it, but I realised in these later years that you can avoid a lot of that by working on yourself and keeping yourself well. Your actual human body is so capable of healing itself, and it's just like you look at a baby. If you look at a baby, you'll see there's no baby ever born with depression. There's always a reason why a baby will cry. It may be hungry, it may be tired, may be uncomfortable, it may need a bit of attention, but there's always a reason a baby will cry. And it's the same with us. There's always a reason why we're feeling sad or we're depressed. It's usually, it may be buried right under there where you really haven't dug out the reason and found out the actual source of what is upsetting you. I know when I was younger, before I realised about this stress and the way it was affecting me, there were three methods I used to use, or a few methods I used to use. One was I used to question myself, to ask myself why I was feeling sad, because I just couldn't figure it out. Because at the time, I think I was, I just got remarried and I was quite happy. I had a good job and didn't have any financial issues, and I had a house and everything, and there was no reason for me to feel depression. But I used to ask myself a few things, and usually there are a few things that do make you feel sad. One is if you're tired, that will drain your battery, your human battery, down. So therefore you can feel sad by being tired. Another one is feeling sick. Quite often you'll feel sad and you'll feel depressed if you're sick or you're run down or you're coming down with something. And the other thing is, like I mentioned before, hidden things that you haven't dealt with. It could be guilt, or it could be rejection, or a whole number of things that you may not have dealt with. But if you can keep your vibe high by doing things that are going to take your mind off things and get out into nature and that, because nature is a fabulous healer. Earthing yourself. Like the cavemen in the old days, they didn't wear rubber-soled shoes, so therefore they got the negative charge from the earth that neutralised the positive electrodes that we carry in our body due to we tend to have more these days, and it's because we have so many electronic devices. We have eliminated dirt, living in the dirt. We've got synthetic coverings on our floors. We have synthetic coverings on our feet with the rubber, so therefore it cancels out the negative electrode that we get from the earth to be able to neutralise our bodies with the positive, all the positive neurons in our body. And these positive neurons actually cause inflammation, and the inflammation cause carcinogenics, and the carcinogenics causes disease. So quite often if you get out into nature, just go outside, have a cuppa and put your feet on the ground, you are actually neutralising the positive electrons in your body. And they actually, if you look into it, they have made undercover sort of silver sheets for your bed where you can plug it in at night and it actually neutralises your body as you sleep. And this has been scientifically proven to improve sleep quality, to improve aches and pains, asthma, and all the range of things medically and also emotionally and mentally, because apparently it helps you sleep so much better. So therefore, you are getting a full charge, just like you charge your phone overnight and you plug it in. This is works similarly, and there's been a lot of positive results because of this undercover thing that actually neutralises your body. Yes, so anyway, as far as the stresses for Christmas, that once again, like I was saying, you have to get on top of the stresses as they arise. Don't sort of put them in the back of your mind. Don't walk away from them or deny them, because as I've said once before, your subconscious doesn't forget. It forgets nothing, and it will come out in a later time, in a later date. It may come out as anxiety, or it may come out as depression, or it may be harboured there in your body, causing you inflammation, where you'll end up getting sick. And stress is the highest thing you can do, and the best way you can to get sick. So it's vitally important to deal with stress when it comes, and make sure you don't put yourself in a position where you do get stressed. So so as far as the depression and the stress at Christmas time, we can't usually avoid a lot of these things, and it's because families get together. There's expectations put on people to be in a family unit to get together, and quite often they don't get along, and then fights occur, and so you've got people anxious about what's going to happen, if anything's going to happen. You might have other people stressed and anxious because they haven't been invited somewhere, and then you've got the parents that are separated from their children and they can't have children, so you've got the custody battles, and you've got the money issues of coming up with enough money for your bills, and also coming up with enough money to buy your gifts and everything. And a lot of people, they don't get work at Christmas time because they may have casual jobs, so they've got those issues as well, trying to survive over the holidays without any money. And we have these stresses, so many stresses around Christmas, and we find the suicide and the homicide rate also goes up around Christmas. So like I was saying, with your Christmas thing, it's not important to have the best gift, and it's not important to, if you don't get along with one of your family members, you don't have to go. You've got your own boundaries. You put your own boundaries around you, and you protect you. That's what you need to do, because one day in the year isn't worth all the stress and depression and debt and sad feelings that you're going to end up being left with. So just be wise about what you do at Christmas time, and don't be forced into doing anything that you don't want to do. And just relax and have a good time and enjoy it the way you want. And if that means just going for a drive in your car up in the countryside and avoiding the family that you may not get along with, or doing something else, or having fish and chips instead of Christmas dinner because you can't afford it, so be it. Just enjoy yourself and do what makes you happy. Go to the beach, or do something else, do something creative, because something creative will raise your vibe. It will also it will keep you happy, and you won't have that stress. So yes, I hope everybody has a great Christmas, and it's not long now. We've only got a couple of weeks to go, and I haven't done any Christmas shopping yet. So here I am talking about stress. I've done nothing. But anyway, I hope that everybody has a lovely Christmas. And also, if you'd like to buy my book, I Survived Domestic Violence Stalking, go to my website, Terry with an i-ryan.com, and you can purchase it there. You can also go to Amazon and get it at Amazon USA, Mexico and Canada. So you can get it there if you're overseas. And also contact me on my Facebook page. I'd love for anybody to make a comment if you wish. So that will be about it, and I will see you again soon. Bye.